Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be filming today. I know it's been such a long time, so I'm really excited to hop back on it. As you can see by the title of this video, today I'm gonna be answering topics, questions, whatever you guys have. Topics, advice topics, questions that you guys have for me on my Instagram, etc. I didn't want to just ask on my Instagram for them to ask me questions because I want to center my focus on these different audiences, like my Instagram, my YouTube, my TikTok. Like, they're all different, so I want to focus each individually. Instead, I'm going to be answering questions that I've gotten through my DMs. I'll be answering them here. And then, yeah, topics. I'm not going to do a self-interview like Sierra. Clock it. But I am going to be answering topics or giving my opinion on certain topics, you know, because I feel like you can tell so much when people like give their opinion about certain topics. Like, let's say like relationship advice, this and that, like you can tell so much about a person with that advice they give you or their opinions about certain things. So I want you guys to get to know me in that type of deeper level. So yeah. And while I answer all these topics or answer all these questions that you guys may have, I am going to be doing my makeup. So it's going to be a get ready / answer topics / answer questions. Let's get started. So starters, some relationship starters. What's my name? You guys know my name? Briseda? Yes. But a lot of people call me Bree, so if I'm ever in any of my videos, you guys hear people calling me Bree or Breezy. Those are all of my nicknames. So I typically go by all of them. You can call me Briseda, Bree, or Breezy. Those are the only ones that I think people have called me. And that's all I've been going by, so I'll answer to any of those. Anything else, yeah, no idea, not me. Next up is my age and what do I do for a living. I'm telling you, these are our icebreakers. We're on Love Island trying to start a connection. Yeah, I am 21. I just turned 21 on May 27th. I had a big ass party. Roll a clip of my big ass party. It's not big. It wasn't a big ass party, but it was an expensive party on my hand because I had to pay for most of it. And shout out to my boyfriend for also helping me out. Roll the clips. So at the moment, I am a caregiver. I work at people's houses, like individuals who need assistance. And I help them with their daily routines. I give them medication, etc. That's typically what I do. Most of my shifts are overnight, so I typically like sleep there and then like take care of them over the night. While I'm also a full-time student at school. Like I told you guys, I have already graduated from college, but with my associate's degree in health science. But I'm still waiting to apply to like programs for nursing, so I'm on that right now. In the meantime, I'm just like taking classes. I'm going for my communications degree in the moment, and then also my public health degree, and I should be finishing that up by the end of the year. And then I also do have my CNA completion. I'm still not CNA licensed because I haven't gone to go take the exam, but I'm gonna be studying for that this month so that way I can go take the exam by next month. Because girl, how am I gonna take the course and not go take the exam? No, I have to. But I just wanted to enjoy my summer because girl, I haven't taken a break from school since high school. So I've been going and I need a break. Even on summer, I think I only took one summer break in the very beginning, and then after that I never took a break after that. So my brain was fried and it needed this like refresh, especially after the CNA course because I just took that. that was hectic, but honestly, I'm ready for nursing programs. I'm manifesting you this year. If you guys follow me on social media, you guys do know that I do have a boyfriend. His name is Ricardo, and you guys will eventually get to meet him. It's just that I haven't brought him on my channel yet because I haven't even been consistent with it. So there hasn't been any ideas that have came to my head of what to film. Okay, a question from my social media is, how did we meet? I feel like I already answered this on this channel, but just in case you're new here, I'm gonna answer it for you, girl. Me and my for-lifer met at the gym. As you guys may know or may not know, I am a gym rat, or was more of a gym rat than I am right now, but I still am a gym rat occasionally. We met because him and his friend were doing like asking some people around the gym which pre-workout was better, because I guess they had like their own little competition, and they were asking like their friends like which pre-workout is better. And well, I knew his friend, like I met him at the gym, but I didn't know my boyfriend at the time, but I knew his friend. So his friend had asked me, can you try mine and my friend's pre-workout and let me know which one was better. And well, his friend had a blueberry one and Rika had a red one, which by the way, that pre-workout was hella bomb. They don't sell it anymore, so I'm kind of sad about it, but it was super good. Clearly you could tell which one I picked. Anyways, I picked Rika's. It was a cherry one. I think it was cherry. It tasted like cherry. And I ended up picking his, and my daughter's crying. Hey. What's wrong? What's wrong, Mama? You okay? You better not bite that. Girl. You guys will get to meet her in 1 second. Anyways, like I was saying, I ended up picking his, and so we ended up like having a conversation, like all three of us right there. At the end, I was saying like bye to my friend Manny, and then he was there, and he was like, we should hit legs sometimes, you know? Because I was telling them how my leg workout was like intense. So he was like, we should hit legs, as I was like walking away. And I was like, yeah, just ask Manny for my social media. He has it. And well, first I had said bye to him, and he had like shook my hand and everything. And he's like, your name was, and I was like, my name is Briseda. And then like, I was like, have a good workout, you know? So I walked away, and then that's when he said we should hit legs sometimes. And I was like, yeah, I'm down. Manny has my Instagram. Tell him to give it to you. Yeah. And then like I was walking away, and he's like, for sure. And then like literally the next day he ended up texting me, and he was saying, what's funny is that he didn't even say hi to me, but like he didn't say hi to me in messages. He was just like straightforward with it. He was like, when are we hitting legs? And I was like, oh, okay, straightforward then. And we ended up like having a few workouts together. We like went on like little dates. He had asked me on little dates. That's how I met the love of my life. Finding your gym love is possible. He could be at the gym. He could be somewhere else, but most likely he's at the gym. For me, he was at the gym. So on topic with that, we have been dating for 2 years already. It was 2 years on my birthday. He said, don't have to spend double the money. He said, I'll just spend it all in one day. Literally. Yeah, so we've been dating for 2 years, and honestly, I couldn't be any more happier, guys, because I was going through it before him. Not necessarily going through it, but I had gone through a lot before him, and then like I was by myself for a long time. So honestly, you know, waiting for your true love is possible. You know, you don't have to rush into things. It's possible. So while we're on that topic, some topics that I want to talk about so you guys can get to know me and my opinions is, hold on, pause on that. Let me introduce you to my new daughter, the newest member of the family, because this is all of us right here, but this is the newest member. Hazel, ven. Ven. Te voy a introducir, ven. Come here. Come say hi to the camera. Ven. Come say hi. This is my little mama. My beautiful. Don't like my face right now because I'm doing my makeup. Isn't she so pretty? She is a mini dachshund, and her name is, I was about to say Pearl, but that's her mom's name. Her name is Hazel. Hola, mama? What's your name? Hazel, mama, Hazel. She's so beautiful. Honestly, guys, you guys can't see it on camera, but One of her eyes is like turning blue, so I think she's gonna have blue eyes when she grows up, but who knows. She is only 3 months, so she's still growing. Mira, mama, he miss you, yeah. He miss you, yeah. She's literally my daughter. I kid you not. Mira, mama, ¿quién es mi tatosh? You. Are you tired already? You want to lay down on my lap while I do my makeup? Or do you still want to play? Anyways, what was I on? Because I feel like I haven't even put my foundation on. What is wrong with me? Anyways, like I was saying, relationship experiences and how I overcame those struggles. So this has been previously asked on my social media, and they were in the topics that I want to talk about, but that's more like relationship advice. So this is like more like me. Anyways, I don't need to explain myself. You guys know. I forgot to put primer on. Oh my god. Whatever. No primer. We're gonna raw dog this hoe. So to be honest, I haven't had so many like relationship experiences, because nowadays, like, I think people like date way more people than what I have dated, but who knows? I don't know. I just feel like just people have like way more crazier stories than me, or like way more people that they had experiences with. Mine are not a lot, but so I've only had one like official relationship before this. Not really. I wouldn't say official because I was young. I was small. I was 15. So how was I gonna know any better from like what I know now? Like, no, I was small and dumb back then. That was my one relationship back then. And well, like I said, I was young. It was a pretty long one, but longer relationship, but I was like young. I basically, like, it took me like a little while to leave that relationship because like I think I was just so used to it or whatever, because I had known like this person for like a pretty long time. But eventually, like, I did. And you know, I feel like everyone goes through that thing where like they break up and then they like try to like rekindle, but it didn't work out. Like we chose that was not the best thing for us, because it was just toxic, overwhelming. Like that was like back in the toxic days where people would like to be toxic. I think people like to be toxic now too, but like I think like during that time toxicness was normal. Like, you know, if you weren't toxic, like, you guys didn't love each other. But I feel like that was such a like horrible mindset to have. Anyways, so that wasn't too bad. There was just like a lot that went on through it, like cheating and, you know, texting other people and like all these different things. So, you know, I was young. I didn't really like comprehend it. I think it didn't really affect me as much because of the fact that I knew that I was young. Like at the time I was probably hurting so much, but like thinking about it now, it's kind of funny. Like like why would I even like stay through all of that? Or like why would I even like why would this even happen? You know, like if I was grown and someone did this to me now, like I would leave immediately. Like why the fuck would I stay there and cry? Or why would I cry to begin with? Yeah, so it was just a bunch of toxicness in that relationship. It was long, toxic. We were young, we were pretty dumb. So, or I'm speaking for myself, I was pretty dumb. So like I didn't know like what was the right way to be treated. Like I felt like that was natural, and that's not natural. I feel like a lot of people nowadays are making it seem like toxicness is natural, and at the time that's how it was. Like if your man was not toxic, like did he like you? But no. Even now I will say, like, so the only reason why I'm mentioning this to begin with is because my advice on toxic relationships, and I still say this to this day, and I'll say it to anyone who ever asks for any advice: you don't need to be toxic to have a stable relationship. Like me and my boyfriend are not toxic in that type of way where it's like you can't go out to here, you can't wear that, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like, no. We're both like really open on like he can go out with his friends, I can go out with my friends because I trust him. You know, if you don't trust your man, there's a problem there because you don't trust him. You know, like that should automatically be a red flag. Like just think about it. Like if I don't trust him to go out, why don't I trust him? You know, like why don't I trust him? Because he has shown to you that he cannot be trusted. And so then that's when it becomes toxic. And you try to fix it and you try to do like all these little things, but like you're always gonna think back to like what they did, or like you know, like it's never gonna leave your head like you once did this. And so even if you try to move forward with them, like let them go out, or like, you know, allow this, like it's always gonna be in the back of your head, and it's always just gonna keep on like freaking like eating at you, you know. So like, why would you want to deal with that? You might as well just leave. As hard as it is to leave, like everyone, I can never tell you to leave. I never tell anyone who asks me for advice to just leave it, because only they're ready to leave it. But I do advise them that, you know, this isn't healthy. Like the best thing for you would be to leave him, but it's all up to you, because like I said, like everyone knows when they're ready to leave. I knew when I was ready to leave, so you're gonna know when you're ready to leave. But I kind of like make them think about like, do you really want to deal with this for the rest of your life? And that's when you got to think about it. Like, do I really want to deal with this for the rest of my life? Yeah, no. So that's when you should like be like, okay, I need to leave for myself. And that's exactly what I did when I was younger. And, you know, I only had one other, not necessarily a relationship, because like I said, none of those were considered relationships to me. All of those were considered situationships at this point, because I don't really talk about any of these things because they're not important to talk about. But whenever I want to give someone advice, you know, I bring up like my past experiences. That way people have like a way to connect with me, like, oh, I understand you because I also went through this, you know. So that's the only time that I ever like anytime bring any of this up, because to me it no longer hurts me. I can care less about it. I wish everyone the best. I never have any hate towards anyone, and you know, and that goes for anyone who could have done me dirty, anyone who did me dirty, anyone who did me wrong, any friends that betrayed me, that were never friends, right? Because they technically were never your friends if friends betray you. But let me just put that disclaimer out. I wish everyone the best. I have no hate towards anyone. So like I said, only you know when you're ready to leave. And I just always try to put that perspective into people's life. Like, do you really want to deal with this for the rest of your life? And, you know, that's kind of what I did. And I said no. And it took a while to leave. But I left and I was free from that. Although that was not my first mistake. I've done many mistakes after that. Like I said, I was still young. So that was like when I was 15. So I still was developing and I still was getting that knowledge that I have now, I guess you can say. So another one of like my mistakes. So I don't know how fast it was after that. But after that, I communicated with other people. Not necessarily, I didn't date them or I didn't like go out with them. You know, I was just texting a person. And it ended up like, how would I describe this? So basically my second mistake was going with someone really fast in a situationship. Like everything was super fast. It was never a relationship or even a situationship. I don't know what to call it, but point is, I got to know a person too fast. So everything was rushed. And that created a lot of problems, because in a relationship you want to take it slow so that you're able to know what that person's intentions are. Because if you do everything really fast, the person is not really chasing you or wanting to take you out on dates or wanting to hang out with you, because you're doing everything really fast. At least that's what I've calculated with men or boys, because they're not men. Anyway, sorry, clock. You want to take everything really slow in a relationship. And I've given this advice as well. See, so all of these are advice that I've given my loved ones, my friends. So that's why I'm bringing up these topics. Or like, I understand you because I've gone through this and I learned this, you know? You know, I have family and they always need my advice. Because they know who they're talking to. And they know that I'm the smart one here. Because they have told me like, I don't really want to tell you anything because I know that I'll hear the truth from you. So I always go to my other friends because they tell me what I want to hear. And it's like, yeah, you're going to hear the truth from me. That's for sure. And I'm going to tell you how it is. Of course, in a nice way. And if you're my family, I'll tell you straight up. But if you're like my friend, like I'll tell you it in a nicer way, but I am still gonna get to the point of it, like, you know. But yeah, so basically you're doing all these things. Like if you were already in a relationship, when you're barely getting to know the person, and you know you're opening yourself up, you're opening up by your emotions, you're doing this and that. But then I feel like they feed onto that, and they're kind of like, she trusts me, or like I've done this, all these different things, and it's just kind of like they feel like they're above you because they know how you feel about everything. And I feel like in a relationship you need to go slow. You need to not show your emotions right away in terms of like how much you feel about them. You need to kind of be nonchalant about it. That's what I gotta say. You gotta be nonchalant about it, because I feel like they're gonna, from my experiences, they're gonna take advantage of the fact that you're being so open, and then they're gonna use it against you. That's what I feel like it is, because I can see it firsthand. I dealt through it, but not just that. I see it firsthand in stories that people have told me. You're doing everything really fast, they're gonna push you aside. Because I feel like men like the chase. Like, at least what my boyfriend told me. He likes that I wasn't so easy. Like, not everything was quick. I didn't kiss right away. I didn't open up right away. I didn't do all those other stuff right away. Everything was with time and at the right time that I felt it was right. Not only did he not rush me. See, so men who want that will only push that. But he didn't push none of that. Like, he was very, like, patient with me, and he was, like, you know, getting to know me for who I am, not just my body, not just, you know, anything about my physical self, but getting to know me as a person. And, you know, and that's how I knew that he was the right person for me, because he didn't rush everything. And not only did he not rush it, but he didn't push me about it. He didn't try to pressure me on it, you know. Everything was with patience, and that's how I knew that having was not his only intention, or that having was not his only intentions, you know. Like, he genuinely wanted to get to know me, and he genuinely wanted to be with me for me, not just my body, not just none of that. It was for me. So like I said, I made that mistake of being really fast with everything, and then like I got too emotionally attached, I guess that's the right word. So it ended up being toxic. It ended up being like a toxic thing for my life. It really put me like in a dark space, because I felt like I was the problem, but I was not the problem. Like, girl, you know, maybe my decisions were a problem, but me, myself, and I was not a problem. My decisions were a problem, and you know, that's what did me wrong, because I should have done this and I should have done that. And then obviously it doesn't help that the men are ridiculous, so no offense. That's how I learned to take a slow pace of everything, because I felt like it was a nightmare when I didn't take it slow. Everything was fast, and it just ended up being hard for me. But of course I ended up, you know, eventually your brain clicks. That's what I'm saying. Like, eventually you know when to leave. And so that's exactly what I did. I knew when I had to stop this shenanigans. I ended up stopping it. And that's when I learned I cannot be too quick. You gotta take it slow. And yeah, I already explained the situation with my mans, and that is how it's supposed to be. So believe it or not, I don't care how many experiences you've had with people who are trying to rush everything or want everything really fast, or you can see right away that they want this and that, and you just keep getting that. There is going to be a person that wants to get to know you for you, not for your body, not for anything else about you, for you. You just have to be patient. So yeah, that's my advice to you, and I know that you guys will find someone who loves you for you. And men, I know your true intentions, so if you go for my friends, I'm gonna let them know, because I can see it from a mile away. But yeah, if you guys ever need any advice for anything, you guys can always comment, or you guys can DM me. I really do want to get to know you girls, for you guys. So if you guys can comment down below your name and then your at, and then I'll follow you guys back on Instagram, because I want you guys on all my social medias. Okay, next is advice for anyone who may be in school. particularly high school, because I know high school is like a big thing for a lot of people. Obviously, I went through that already a long time ago, back in, I don't know, when did I graduate? 2022, I think. So since 2018, I think. Back in 2018, I went. Is that true? Oh my god, I'm old. I need to do the calculations right. I don't know if that's true. Don't count me on it. Advice for anyone who may be in high school, going to high school, is in high school. So for going to high school, let me just tell you, because you guys are joining schools from like different areas, are going to one high school, like different elementaries going to one high school. You do get to know a lot of new people, because you have them in different classes. You know, I know you're used to going, at least for my school, it was like all the same people each year. I mean, maybe one or two new students got added in elementary, but then when you went to high school, we had like the San Juan people all in one, or the Hollister people all in one. So, and that's at my high school, small, so, but you know, so you're gonna meet a lot of different new people. So let's say you don't have friends in elementary, you eventually will get to know other people and hopefully make new friends in elementary. I mean, in high school. Hopefully some good friends. Hopefully you get lucky with some good friends. You know, you're gonna meet a lot of fake friends. Basically not friends, so fake people. At this time in your life, you're able to distinguish between fake and real. But if you don't, eventually it will show. And you know, keep your guard up with new people that you meet. Obviously you don't want to be like living with your guard up, because that's how I basically lived the majority of my life. But you do want to not trust everyone right away. And will, you know, I am really good at picking my friends. I know which friends are real, which friends are fake, which is not really my friends, once again. But I could tell people's intentions from a mile away. So I'm really good at that, but maybe because I've been trained with that. But just kidding. Just be, you know, be yourself and, you know, get to know people, but obviously keep your guard up. I'm assuming you guys are way more knowledgeable now than how I was back then, because times have changed. So I'm sure you guys are able to distinguish that much faster than I did. So that's for my advice for people going into high school. For people who are going through high school or at the end of high school and you don't know what's gonna go on with your life, let me just tell you. So if you're worried about what people are gonna think about you in high school, or you're worried about what people think about you, or you're aware that people dislike you or whatever, or I don't know what the case may be, you will never see those people after high school. Maybe you'll run into one or two, but you're not gonna physically be with those people majority of your life, because in high school or in school in general, you're with them 5 times a week, right? No, you're never gonna see these people ever again. Like ever again. And I mean ever again, because like it's rare that I see anyone from high school. If I do, I do not care. Like it doesn't mean anything. But you know, like the opinion people have in you in high school will not live on with you forever. If you're popular, if you're not popular, blah blah blah, all of that is not gonna matter after high school. Let me just tell you guys that much. It's not gonna matter. You're gonna have your own life with your real friends, and that's all that's gonna matter. Or with your family, whoever you have in your life. Not all these people that you don't know, or that you never knew, or that have an opinion about you. Like I'm telling you, you're never gonna see them after high school. It's rare. Even I went to a public college, and even then I only saw a few people here and there. I didn't really see a lot of people, because a lot of people go to different schools. So you know, not everyone is going to be there, or you're going to have different schedules from everyone. So, you know, you're just not going to see these people ever again. So, do not care about what people say. Okay, next topics. Have I ever gotten into a fight? No. Never. Close to? Yes. If you guys want to hear a story time on that, I do have a video out kind of explaining everything that happened with that situation. That's the only thing that's ever like riled me up like that, at least in high school. After one time when I was working at McDonald's, fun fact, I used to work at McDonald's, and I used to work at the North Face, because that's one of the topics, like what have I done in my life. I used to work at McDonald's. I used to work at the North Face. When I was at McDonald's, some lady got mad at me because I didn't give her ranch, or I only gave her like 2 ranch. Cause no, not 2 ranch. I gave her like a handful of ranch actually. Cause we had already put ranch in her bag, and then she asked for more ranch, so I gave her a handful. But I just put them in the bag. Like, I opened the window because I was already having a bad day. Cause she was already very rude. So I opened the window, and you know, she has a bag already sticking out the window. That's how freaking obnoxious, you know, this person was. She just had her freaking hand out the window, and while I was gonna go get the ranch, and the window was closed, by the way, just had it like that. And so I put the ranch inside, and I just closed the window. Like, I didn't say anything. I think I said have a good day, and that's it. I closed the window, and next thing you know, I hear some lady in the front. Like, she was in drive-thru, so then she came to the front, and she was like, where's that bitch at? I think that's what she said. So I'm going from what I remember. So if you used to work with me and you remember this exact story better than me, trust me, I'm not even trying to lie. I'm just trying to, you know, remember how it went. But she was calling me a bitch from what I remember. So she's like, where's this bitch at? And my manager was like in the front, and I was like in the back, and I was like, I didn't know that it was even her. Like, I didn't know it was her. I just heard all of that, and like I was like confused. And then one of the managers was dealing with that in the front and telling her, you need to get out. Like, you cannot be coming in here and saying, where's this bitch at? And trying to fight one of the workers, basically, right? And she was just saying, no, like, bring her out here. And then, like, that's when my manager, like, came to me. And he was, like, telling me, like stay right here, you know? Like, stay right here. Because I was taking an order, so I couldn't really hear what was going on. And I was like, what's going on? And then, you know, I realized what was happening, and I was like, no freaking, like, I was literally like, no freaking way, like that. And I was like, if she wants me to go outside, I'll go outside, you know? Like, I wasn't scared. I more like my adrenaline was starting to rush, but it was like kind of like, if she wants me to go outside, like, I'll go outside. And I was like trying to walk that way, that even if we weren't gonna fight, we were gonna have a conversation. Keep in mind, I was like, what, maybe like 17, 18 at this time. I don't really remember how old I was, but I was around that age. And then so I was going to walk that way, but they were like, no, just stay back, you're gonna make the situation worse. And they were like in front of me, like trying to block everything, so that if the lady goes in, she can't go in, or if I try to go that way, like, I can't go that way. So we were restricted regardless. Not gonna lie, I was expecting her to come back through the drive-thru again, you know, but I'm sure they would have told me or some shit. I don't know, but that's what I was expecting. I didn't expect her to leave after that. They basically, I told her, like, you're not gonna be fighting, you need to get the fuck out. Basically, that's what they said. So that whole time I was like, there's no way this bitch just tried to fight me over some ranch. Like, come on, girl. And, you know, like I said, she was already being rude. Like, when people were rude to me at McDonald's, I'm not gonna lie, I still had that mindset, and I probably still would if I was still working there. Where I'm gonna give you the same energy that you gave me. So if you're being fucked up, bitch, I'm gonna be not nice. So, not like I was being like rude like them, but I just wouldn't say much. I wouldn't say have a good day. I would, you know, just give them their food and continue on with my day. Like, I wouldn't do that extra stuff, like, have a good day, or like, you know, I like this about you, or like, you know, that's how I was at the North Face. We were pretty nice there. So, you know, or like, you know, I'll be like, you know, well, how is your day going, or whatever. I really wouldn't do that at McDonald's. I was doing that more at North Face, but because people were always rude at McDonald's, so I never really had the energy to go above and beyond than what my job was. You know, it was always like, do the minimum at least, because these people are rude. But when people were being rude, like, that's when I would just not say anything. I'll give them their food, close the window, and you can go, you know, because I already gave them everything that they needed. So what do I need you here for anymore? Nothing. So I kept that energy, like, and it would cause, like, with some people, like, some people would be like, you know, they would get more ruder than what they already were, but because you're being rude, why should I be nice to you? At the time, that's what I was thinking. Now I would have killed them with my kindness, to be honest. I would have been like, have a good day, you know, like, you know, kill them with kindness. That's the way that it should be. But my attitude got the best of me back then, and if they were being rude to me, I would just be like, but I wonder if that's how it's supposed to be. How are you guys in drive-thru when people are rude to you? Are you guys like rude back? Are you guys just like still nice? Like, what do you guys, because I would not let people walk over me, even if that was my job, I still wouldn't let it happen. Like, I would still like say something. I was not like rude or like trying to cause drama or anything, but I just wouldn't let people talk to me the wrong way. Where did this even come from? Oh, any fights? Oh yeah. So that was the only thing. And then aside from that, my story time. This is how the thumbnail looks. So go watch it there. After this video though. A controversial issue. Can guys have a girl best friend or a guy best friend? So I do actually have like a guy friend. But of course we've been knowing each other for like a very long time, since high school. You know, me, my best friend, and him hang out. And we're all like super cool. Like, you know, it's no weird vibes or anything at all. So I feel like it honestly just depends on who the girl is, who the guy is. You know, even as a boyfriend, if you can tell that they're not a good guy, or like, you know, like my boyfriend, he knew that he was a good guy, so he is chill with my friend, because he knows that he can see his intentions. Like, it just, honestly, you gotta be able to read and trust your instincts. Because if like my boyfriend had like a girl best friend and she was low-key like on to him, like, you know, like all up on him, or like super close to him, like kind of weird, you know. Friends know their lane. They know where to stay, they know where not to stay. So if that friend doesn't know that, then that is not a friend that you should have, because your friend knows their place. Like, you know, they support your relationship, they're there for your relationship. Like, you know, they're just chill vibes, they're cool. Like, you know, they're not trying to invade or trying to cause problems in your relationship. That's how you know they're not a friend to you. And then that gives, your man will see that, and then he's gonna tell you something, but you should also be able to see it for yourself. You know, it shouldn't just be like your partner seeing it, you should be able to see it too, because it's pretty obvious, you know. So honestly, it just depends on who the person is. So I think I can't say yes, but I can't say no, because it just depends on who the person is, you know. But you guys need to figure that out yourself. If it's causing problems between you and your partner, and you know that they're literally like valid reasons as to why it's causing problems, then that should, you know, that should tell you your answer. But if it's like something where it's like you're just being toxic when you know he's just a good friend, then it's like, you know, that's when you have to watch that too. So it's a controversial issue, and it's gonna stay like that because I just don't know. I can't give you guys a flat answer. It just depends on who the person is, you know. Sorry, I keep looking that way, but the camera's here, so my bad. Next up, I'm going to give you guys relationship advice. You should, let me just give like a narrow breakdown of what I stand by. Hold on. Okay, back to it. A breakdown of like what advice to you I have for your relationship. So 1, you should not be afraid to tell your partner how you feel. I feel like if you're afraid to tell your partner how you feel, then that's a red flag right there, because why do you feel like that? You need to think about, why do I feel like that? Because he crashes out, because he does this, you know. Is that healthy? No. You know, so I feel like you should never be afraid to tell your partner anything. I'm not afraid. You know, I tell him how it is, and if I find something that I don't like, I'll tell him, I'll explain my reasoning, and he'll tell me, and we kind of like correlate. So I just don't say I don't like this. No. If it's just me saying I don't like this, but there's a reason why he does certain things, then I need to watch myself. You know? You shouldn't be afraid to communicate, because I feel like communication is key to a relationship. That's what has helped me in my relationship. Our communication is really strong. He's really good at, you know, expressing how he feels, and I'm really good at expressing how I feel. So, you know, sometimes we have our little discussions, but we get through them through communication. Duh. So 1, you shouldn't be afraid to tell your partner how you feel. 2, I feel like your partner should never degrade you or tell you anything about yourself. I feel like more importantly, they should be encouraging you. So let's say I'm gaining weight, and you know, I have been gaining weight, so, but my partner has also been gaining weight with me, because we both eat the same shit. So, you know, he just doesn't tell me you're getting fat, bitch. No, it's, we both need to get on a diet, because I feel like it's starting to get to us, or I feel like, you know, but he, the way that I tell him or he tells me is like, we still look good though. Like, we still look bomb. But, you know, we could tone it down a little bit because we do eat a lot. So there's just ways to express your concerns about your partner in a certain type of way without degrading them or making them feel bad about themselves. Next, I would say, I feel like as a partner, you should be able to let your partner go out, in my opinion. So these are all my opinions, okay? If y'all don't like my opinion, don't hate me as a person. It's just my opinion. But I feel like your partner should be able to go out just like you're able to go out, because you wouldn't want him to restrict you, so why should you restrict them? You know what I mean? But I feel like the reason why you may not want to let them go out is why? Because they have shown you disrespect before. They have shown you disloyalty. So that makes you not want to let them go out, right? And that's where that's a red flag, you know? Why don't I want to let them go out? Because they have shown this, because they have shown that, you know? And so should you be in that relationship, you know? That's where you have to kind of just reflect. Why do I feel like this? I feel like this because of this. Is this healthy? Is this something you can communicate to your partner and fix it? Or is it something that's going to keep eating you up because it already happened? So I feel like that's also important. If you're just being toxic and not wanting to let your partner go out, but you can go out, that's being hypocritical. So that's not the way that it should be. Both of you guys should have, both of it should be even. Or like, let's say your man's not letting you go out, but he can go out. Like, make that make sense. That just is not right. Red flag right there. Like, that's not how it should be. Am I missing something? Nose contour. Okay, I have the base good, I think. So I just need to do my lips. I think I forgot that I was doing my makeup. So yeah, I just don't think it's right if they can go out, but you can go out. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And yeah, and all these things I'm saying because like all these things, like, you know, it's incorporated into my relationship. Like, I know what's right and what's not right. Like I said, only you're ready to leave, but honestly reflect on if you want to stay with this for the rest of your life. That's how I encourage people to think about it. Do you want to stay like this for the rest of your life? Do you want to deal with this for the rest of your life? No, right? So leave now before it's too late. Because next thing you know, you're years and years and years in and you're like, you know, miserable. Like, why would you want to be miserable? That's not how it works. I feel like other stuff I already said throughout the video. So, sorry if it sounds repetitive. But once again, don't move too fast in a relationship. Move slow so you know the person's true intentions. You know if they just want to have sex. You know if they just want you for your body. You know if they just want this or that. Because of the pace that you're moving at. You know, if you move slow, that means they're riding for you. They're staying there. And, you know. But if they're like pressuring you about it and you're moving too fast, then that should tell you their intentions. Next, I want to talk about my tattoos because a lot of you girls have had questions about my tattoos. Where I got them from is right here. He honestly does a very good job. He, you know, you explain to him what you want or you send pictures of what you want, and he will have like a freestyle version and then like what you wanted, and then, you know, and then you can kind of make edits of it like as you're there. My tattoos, let me show you guys. So I have 3 butterflies. I just got these butterflies because they're cute, you know. No like actual representation of it. Maybe just like, you know, spread your wings, fly. I don't know, however you want to say it, however you can describe it as. But I just got them because they're really pretty. And I got this one. It says Arias on it. That's my last name with the little heart. I got it like in this type of writing. I like that type of writing. And then since we're on this side of my stomach, oh, there it is. This one says love yourself first. In Arabic writing. Cute, cute, cute. I barely show that one. I feel like that one is the one that you barely could see. Yeah, and then I have this one, which is a Virgencita tattoo. It's Virgencita line work. You know who my Virgencita is. You have to know who my Virgencita is. Yeah. My Virgencita and God are my everything. Next, I have this one here. It's just a rose tattoo that says faith. You know, always have faith. And yeah, I think that's it. And next, I hopefully want to get my spine tattoo. And I think I'm good with my arm right now. I don't know what I should add to it, if I even add to it. I kind of like how it's like just simplistic. Simple. And then like everything is on one side of my body, if you guys haven't noticed that. Because I want to have one side that's clean. But who knows, in the future I might add something. But for now, I just have everything in like one side of my body. So the last topic / questions that I will be answering today, I kind of talked about my boyfriend already. But like, first of all, do I have a good relationship with my boyfriend's family? Because I know, and I've heard a lot of people, you know, don't have a good relationship with their partner's family, and that could get like really tough, or you know. But I think that it's super important that you have a good relationship with your partner's family, because you know, especially if you see that person being like that's my for lifer, you want to be good with their family. You just want to have that relationship with them, and I feel like I've been doing really good at that. I know what it feels like when the family kind of just doesn't like, I don't know, maybe they're just not, they didn't really like you, or you know, had opinions about you because, let's say, you know, your boyfriend, or you know, they had told their parents something and now they have a feeling about you. Like, that's what I feel like I went through back then. And let me just tell you, girl, you are not the problem. They are the problem. Because why do they hate you for no reason? Who knows? Or why do they dislike you or have an opinion about you for no reason? In my opinion, I think family should stay out of whatever yours and your partner's problems are, because I feel like once family knows about yours and your partner's family, they will form an opinion about you, and they might not know the whole story. They might not know the right story. Like, let's say you argue with your boyfriend and your boyfriend goes tells your parents. They're gonna take his side of the story because that's the way that it was said, but what if there's more to it that was missed, you know? And I just feel like not only is it important to have a good relationship with your partner's parents or family, but also keep everything like to yourself. There hasn't been any problems with me like right now with like my partner where I want to go and tell their parents about anything, because we were actually really good, very healthy, you know, healthy relationships are possible. But I also don't feel like ever even like telling any of my family or any of his family about little arguments that we have, because, or like little disagreements that we have, because like you guys are gonna form your opinion about him and that's not what it is, or you know, just like a bunch of things. I'm just like, yeah, no, I feel like everything should be kept to your guys' self. I feel like only like certain things where you may actually need an opinion from someone else, you can go ahead and tell them. But I feel like, you know, this is not a case for me in my relationship now, but even back then, I feel like it was important to have, for everyone to have their own, like, keep your business to yourself. Don't tell it to others, because others will form other opinions about you or your partner, or like, you know, cause problems, or you know, and then it could just make your life miserable or your partner's life miserable, because you may have been mad at the moment and you told someone about it and now they don't like them, you know, when you know that that's not true, or like, you know, just toxic things. I'm just like, ugh, yuck. Keep your problems to yourself, in my opinion. But once again, everyone has their own opinion, and you know, yeah. So tagging along with that, I have a good relationship with my boyfriend's parents, and he has a good relationship with my parents, and I have a good relationship with his sisters, and he has a good relationship with my siblings and my cousins, and you know, it's a beautiful thing to have, because I want him to be in my life for the rest of my life. So of course I would want him to get along with my family, and of course I feel like he would obviously want me to get along with his family. And yeah, being close, you know, I never thought that I would be where I am right now with his family, but they have been super welcoming. They were welcoming from the very beginning, and super nice to me, super sweet to me. So has my family towards him and his sisters. They're a little bit on more of the shyer side, but you know, as the girlfriend, you want to go and, you know, get to know their family. So, you know, I went out of my way to try to talk to them, you know, like hang out with them, you know, just get to know them overall, because that's what I want in my family for the rest of my life. So I want to make it work regardless of the case, regardless if I'm the one talking, regardless if they're the one talking. But yeah, they were just shy in the very beginning, but then I was shy too, so I had to step out of my little conchita and go talk to them. So I got to know them, and honestly, we're all super close. I went with her sister to the gym a lot, so I got really close to her. because we would go to the gym together, and then, you know, we just started getting closer. Cindy, I filmed a YouTube video with her already, so that should tell you how close I am with her too. And then Alondra, she hasn't been in a YouTube video, but I'm just kidding. Or is it Alondra? We fuck around, so don't take it serious. We're all good, and I always want to be good with him, just like I want him to be good with my family. Drama-free family is the way that you should want it to be, because why would you want to be beefing with people outside in the outside world? If you are, I'm not. Why would you want it inside your family? No. Okay, I got changed really quick because I have to go somewhere like ASAP. But I want to say thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your guys' opinions in the comments. I want to get to know you girls, so please drop your name and your @ so I can go follow you back on Instagram or on YouTube, whatever, doesn't matter. And thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. Bye. I'll see you next time.